Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. My name is Scott, and here with the usual co-hosts, Tony. How you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening, mate. You keeping well?
All good, mate. All good.
And what about you, Ben? How you getting on?
How you doing, mate? All right, yeah, not bad.
Good stuff. Good stuff. As always, we are hosting this live with our Patreon members on YouTube. If you'd like to become a Patreon member, there'll be a link in the description below. You get early access to the podcasts. You can join in the live chat when we do these live streams, and then you get things like exclusive articles. You've got the Disney mini leagues, which we've got our Patreon Cup coming up soon as well, where we'll be drawing that next week. And yeah, early access to the pods with no ads. So shout us out if you're in the chat now. We've got Graham in there, Gaz, Lee, Nathan, James, and Matt. So hello to all you guys. Let us know if there's anyone else there listening. But yeah, how's your week's gone so far? Been a good week for you guys?
I'm happy enough.
How are you, Ben, so far? We'll come to the teams in a bit, but in general?
Yeah, not too bad. A couple of blanks because of injuries, but yeah, we'll come to that later.
Yeah. One last thing to shout out our new sign up. We've got Jack Miles, so hopefully he's in here listening. But thank you for signing up to the Patreon. And again, if anyone else wants to support the channel, get those features. Link in the description. We're going to kick it off with Gameweek25 top point scorers so far. And we've got a lovely picture there of Douglas Luiz. This is from the FF Stuff website. Anyone considering bringing him in yet?
He's been doing all right, hasn't he? I brought him in this week in my fan team, actually. I brought him and Watkins in for a double bubble, so they did all right for me. On penalties, I feel as obviously European games are going back up. He's got to be thought about, and obviously a lot of people are thinking about Watkins. Some brought him in this week as well. He got a nice 11 pointer, but yeah, he's definitely up there on the watch list.
Yeah. He's on all set pieces, isn't he? Penalties as well, but I still can't bring myself to pick him. He doesn't seem like an attacking pick that much, really. But I can't see that anyone's really going to be going for old Ayew up there. Bonus machine, most bonus points of any striker.
Yeah, strange, isn't
it? Van Dijk, though, both you guys got him, haven't you? Your team?
Yeah.
He's done my head in this week.
Yeah.
Did you not get him in the end?
No. I said we obviously will come on to the teams, but I had a decision to make whether to go strikers or defenders, and my thought process was these centre backs, they've got attacking threat, haven't they? But they don't score every week.
Yeah.
He scored that one, didn't he? And it got disallowed as well, and I thought, I've got away with it, but of course not.
I literally turned the game on in extra time, second half, and I said to my son, he said to me, what players have you got? I said, I've got Van Dijk playing in this game. I says, I need a header from a corner. And he goes and does it. I was like, what? Look, he's just got a header.
Was that the disallowed one or the second one?
No, the one the winner. Yeah, I didn't see the whole game.
Yeah, no, he's been a bit of a beast, hasn't he, really? Yeah, I can't see that there's that many other ones. I mean, Kelleher's right up there, isn't he? For the obviously he's going to be playing twice a week now. I guess a lot of people might take a gamble on him. You were recommending him to a few people, weren't you, on that stream that we did?
Yeah.
I tell you what, he had a cracking game, didn't he?
Oh, both the keepers. I can't remember exactly how many saves they were both on, but I think one was on 10 and one was on possibly 9. I think
Unreal.
Ridiculous game.
Good game it was. Good game to watch.
Like it to be a different final, though. Had enough of these Liverpool-Chelsea finals.
Yeah, at least you went in the end.
Well, it was almost. Then we've got the top 1K ownership. Silly me, I've covered over the Phil Foden there, but you got Haaland at 100%, and then what was Foden, Ben?
99.8.
We've basically got everyone on Foden and Haaland at the minute. I was looking at Salah because you went there, didn't you? You went Salah. And it looks like it's what 53% teams got him in. I imagine a big chunk of that was this week, wasn't it?
Yeah. You would have imagined he'd play that Chelsea game being a cup final, and he played the week before. But yeah, he didn't come back. Still got a game to go though. Hoping he plays in the cup.
Yeah, there was not whispers just as we come off the last pod. We heard whispers that Salah had pulled up. It was right. We'd come off her. It was literally a couple of minutes, and then I didn't really hear much else of it other than they're going to assess him and they're hoping he'll be ready for the cup final. That's all I heard, to be honest. But he just never. I don't know. It was a tough one not to put him in.
I thought he was bluffing. I thought.
Yeah.
I thought they were both going to play. I
was sweating because at one point I had Luis Diaz sat in my team, and I was sweating thinking of Arsenal, Liverpool don't want to go out of any of the front men. Diaz probably nailed, but then I thought that Southampton game, if Núñez and Salah are both out, is Luis Diaz going to be playing that Southampton game? I can't see it. So that put me off him then. So I ended up going for Pascal Gross in the end. And yeah, I got away with it. I got away with Salah and Núñez not playing. We're not even being in the squad, to be fair. Although, did you see Núñez jump over the advertising audience?
Blimey.
Jesus Christ, he don't look injured.
You had him and then you had Curtis Jones, who was like hobbling on his crutches.
Yeah.
I'm shocked actually to see Diaz there. Diaz at what's that, 44.7%. He's above Pascal Gross. I didn't expect him to be that high.
I don't know what it was compared to last week, but I do think he was a good option this week, knowing there's massive doubts over Núñez and Salah. But then this cup game, the top of the league, I can't see him playing now. I think some of these youngsters will get another chance. I don't think Diaz will play. So then
I can't see them risking Salah, even if they think that he could be okay. I can't see him doing it.
And same with Núñez. Are they really going to risk him now? If they weren't, they must have been nowhere near. To not even be on the bench for the final, they mustn't be anywhere near. I could be wrong, but
I suppose they're on for the. They could be on for the quadruple, couldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, he could want to play it that way and just win as many trophies as he can, but yeah,
clean up on the way out.
Hey Tony, we were on the deadline stream on Saturday, and I literally had Diaz in my team, and then I was like, this just Gross kept like coming up, and I was thinking, I really fancy Gross this week. I wanted Gross and Diaz, but I wanted Salah, and then I changed Diaz to Gross instead as my transfer in, and then I started thinking, should I do instead of Salah, should I do Diaz, because we know Diaz is fit.
Yeah.
And then I just left it. I thought I'll leave it. So yeah, it's only cost me 5 points so far, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, and like I say, I don't think Diaz is going to play that second game, especially if they're struggling with Salah and Núñez. They're going to need Diaz for these Premier League games that are coming up, because the league's the bread and butter, and he'll want to win that league more than anything. I think you get away with that one. It's just the. Yeah, it's a punt, isn't it? It's a punt, because if Salah had played, you know what I mean, anybody who doesn't have him like me, you sat behind the sofa, aren't you?
Yeah, and I was thinking if I put Diaz in, and then next week I want Salah back in anyway, so I'll have to take Diaz back out. Another transfer.
Yeah.
Captains, top 1K. No surprise, 97% Haaland again. I think that's crept up a percentage on last week, I think it was.
Yeah, it's getting boring, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
I bottled it again.
Did you?
I had it on Foden. But yeah.
We will come on to who we think are the best picks, but yeah, was you ever considering you thought Foden?
Yeah, I had it on Foden at one point. I took it off. I bottled it. Just thought it's a bit too early to go against him.
Do you think Haaland's going to get the second game?
I don't know. Neither of them might get it. Neither of them. But we did say on the last pod, I don't remember him ever being rested like for a game.
No. It's win it and get him off sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. So...
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I'm pretty sure a couple of those Netos are definitely in our group, aren't they? I was looking, and when I brought up the table, I think you can see the captain's pick. So we'll come to that in a bit. But
was it not Ben Coles and
it was me?
Graham?
It might have been Graham. Yeah,
Yes.
Nathan's in the chat. Who let us know you captained? He loves a differential.
He probably went Wang.
Maybe.
Yeah, I seen a couple of Wangs as well. I think Lee Hooper went Wang, didn't he?
In your time. Game week 26 doubles, and it's got both be bringing in double game week players this week, haven't we? So City, Liverpool, Villa, Brighton, and West Ham, all with the double game weeks. Obviously, Champions League. Now we've got the draws chucked in here as well.
Yeah.
Tony, any you're liking the look of in Europe?
Brighton have got a tough one, haven't they, with Roma? I was hoping they got an easier draw than that, to be honest. It didn't put me off, though. It's not put me off. Yeah, I like their doubles, really. Roma, then Forest. Fulham, Roma, Forest, Roma. Villa definitely got to be on the list, like I said, with Douglas Luiz and Watkins, with Luton and Ajax. Spurs and Ajax, we know Spurs and Villa, that should be a good game. High scoring, I would guess. And that man Bowen tonight, back on the radar, I'm guessing. They've got Everton and I don't know who that is. Who did they draw?
Oh, sorry, I was just looking at the...
Freiburg.
SC Freiburg. They're a decent side, to be fair, but...
Bowen hat-tricks just scored again.
They are.
Oh, my God.
Bowen hat-trick just before he's got back-to-back doubles. Everton and Freiburg and Burnley and Freiburg. So I think he might be a popular pick.
Yeah, I was just trying to refresh my live score to see who'd scored the third.
Yeah, like you say, I bet. I was looking at the ownership before we started, and Bowen is in 0% of the Tottenham K. I think that's gonna go up now. Now he's back in the scoring. Got his scoring boots back on. Yeah, you pretty much covered it all there. Like, I think Aston Villa players are going to be quite interesting this week. Liverpool, Man City as usual. Yeah, and obviously Bowen, I would imagine, will be quite interesting for a few now.
Yeah.
What about you've got to be holding your Arsenal players, haven't you? If you're looking for this single game week of Sheffield United.
Yeah, I attacked this double with I took out Gabriel and put in Van Heck, which I think Van Heck were on 11 points at one point. He had 2 shots on target, should have scored. He was doing all right, and then obviously they conceded, man sent off. Dunk got a nice equaliser. But yeah, I'm happy enough that I've gone against Gabriel. I think they got 4 and 5 points. I kept Saka, and I'll be keeping Saka for the single. And then obviously up to 27 when Arsenal double again. We were looking to bring in Saka, Ben. I know you've got the doubles and they've only got the single, but it is against Sheffield United.
Yeah, I am tempted to bring him in this week. Just depends. Like, if Alvarez doesn't play again, then I might move him on. But I might go to Watkins. I don't know yet. But yeah, he is annoying me now, Saka. He just keeps scoring points. He was awful before. Well, not awful, but he wasn't getting any big points. And then he had these singles coming up, and like there was like a 6 for 3 or something. So I just moved him on, brought in a doubler, and ever since then I couldn't get him back in because I keep getting injuries. I've had 3 injuries in the last 2 weeks, so I haven't been able to get him in.
It was that Crystal Palace game for Saka that tripped people up, wasn't it? Because I had Saka already on this format, but I took him out on others because it was that 5-0 win against Crystal Palace, 5 goals, and he didn't have 1 goal involvement. And I think a lot of people like captained him in quite a few scenarios, let everyone down, so people just got fed up and moved him on. And then since then, he hasn't stopped scoring. I think he's I think that is right. 5 consecutive. Might be. Oh no! Apart from the Porto game, wasn't it? He didn't score. It's ridiculous, though.
He likes to troll people.
If you enjoying the content so far this season, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And you can become a Patreon member with the link in the description below. We've got a bit of merch up on the screen. What's that new edition you've got there, Tony? You got the hoodie, the
tumbler.
The tumbler.
Yeah, stainless steel tumbler. Keeps hot drinks hot, cold drinks cold. Yeah, get over to www.footyfits.co.uk if you want any of that merch, all available, made to order.
Help support the channel. And we've also got our meetup as well. We had Jordan on with us in the last episode explaining that. But if you do want any details on our meetup, just drop us a message either on Twitter or leave a comment and we'll get back to you on there. Should be quite good on St. Patrick's Day. Listener questions. Yes. So we'll kick it off with DT Philip. We don't normally do these, do we? We've got a section for the team suggestions, but we'll take this one on. We'll make an exception. So this is his plan for Gameweek 26 if he doesn't have any injuries. If you're listening to the audio and you can't see it on the screen, he's moving on Anthony Gordon to Watkins and Alvarez onto Salah. But do we think having 3 single game week players is too many? So he's got Dubravka, Trippier, and Bukayo Saka. So I think we're probably in agreement that the Saka one's fine. Do you think he's got too many with Dubravka and Trippier, Tony?
Has he got Gordon there as well? I can see.
So he's taken Gordon out. Yeah, he's taken. So his team would be Dubravka, Van Dijk, Trippier, Robertson, Saka, De Bruyne, Foden, Diaz, Watkins. I'm guessing that's Salah and Haaland.
Yeah, they've been poor, haven't they, Newcastle? Karius was in the net from last week, weren't he? This week?
Yeah, I think he's got an illness. I don't know the details, but it was through illness. Dubravka was out.
Right, so he should be back probably net for Rovers game, I guess, or maybe rested for Rovers game and then back for next week. You know me, not one for worrying too much about keepers. Although Johnston's back in net for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Yeah,
clean sheet as well.
Yeah, what a git. But yes, I'd leave Dubravka. He's not an issue. Saka's definitely not an issue. Trippier, want to move him on. I think there's worse single game players to have in your team. I wouldn't be worrying about Trippier either, really. I think the moves he's making there are probably the right moves. I don't think you're making a mistake by leaving any of them in. What do you reckon, Ben?
Yeah, I think they're good single game weeks for these players. They've got Saka's got Sheffield United, and Trippier and Dubravka's got Wolves at home, which ain't a bad fixture. I totally understand why he's looking at Alvarez out because he's been rotated less minutes, so he might as well be a single game week player. And then he's bringing in Watkins, who's got doubles for the next 2 weeks. So it's a sensible transfer. Say we watch now where Alvarez will start midweek and score.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Pep will still rotate him, rest him. That's what he does.
I'm already regretting that move. I bought Alvarez in, didn't I, this week. I thought as soon as we saw that leak that De Bruyne was going to be out,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, he's definitely going to get that game, and then he might still get a bit of rotation. But I was so shocked to see they basically played like what they had in the same team, wasn't it? Kovacic, Rodri, and Nunes.
Yeah.
But that Mateus Nunes was sort of playing left wing, and then John Stones was playing in centre mid. So yeah, they can mix it around so many different ways.
Play where they want.
Yeah. No, I think he's along the right lines there. Really, obviously, might want to change his mind if there's no sign of Salah again.
Yeah, I'd definitely be keeping an ear to the ground about
that. Yeah, it doesn't look good. If there's no sign of him again, we have to wait and see what they say in the press conferences, I suppose. But
yeah.
So if there isn't anything to deal with going into Gameweek 27, would you move on Trippier and Dubravka for the following week?
I would start trying to get in as many double game week players as you can. But like I said, they're all right for the Wolves home game.
Yeah.
But yeah, try and start looking ahead, get double game week players in. It's Chelsea away the week after in 27, so it's quite a hard fixture for Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's taking Gordon out and going Watkins, and then he's looking to do Alvarez to Salah. If Salah isn't available, and we do hear that, then he could take Trippier or Dubravka out for 26, which leaves him free for a move for 27. So he would only have either Dubravka or Trippier left. So depending on how that Salah move works out, whether he does bring him in, he might be able to get rid of one at singles a bit earlier. Yeah, game week 27, you want them doublers in.
Captain picks, game week 26. You want to start it off, Ben?
Yeah, I was looking at this. It's the fixtures this week. You've got Man City, you've got 2 home fixtures, Man United and Copenhagen. Both like must-win games. So I think Haaland is the standout again this week. And I think De Bruyne will play 2 games in game week 26 because it's important matches. And I think he's going to play a lot of football over the next few games now because there's a lot of hard games coming up, and he'll want to play his strongest team against them. So you've got Liverpool after that. Then he's got the FA Cup quarter-final if they win, or Brighton. Could be a blank if Brighton win and Man City don't know. But it's only a single game week because of the international break after that. And then Arsenal and Villa at home after that in 29. So all big games. So yeah, De Bruyne could be a differential. Foden. Obviously, Watkins has got a good Luton and Ajax. Both away though. Villa are better at home. So don't know about that one. What about Bowen, Tony?
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. My plan for 26 is probably Palmer out. And possibly Trippier out. But I am going to assess the Alvarez situation as well because I did do a little bit of a thing for the questions we've got coming up about Alvarez, but I'm very tempted to not shy away from Foden next week and go for a little bit of a differential. I think if you've got Luis Diaz in your team, he'd be a decent option. 2 away games to Liverpool, but decent fixtures. Yeah, like I say, Luton are a tricky fixture for everyone now at Kenilworth Road, but they're not shy of taking teams on, and we know how good Villa can be on that counter attack. So there might be some good opportunities for Watkins there. So yeah, players I'm looking at for the next week. Obviously, Bowen's come onto the radar now, but Watkins, Douglas Luiz. If I took Trippier out, it'd have to be for a defender, which is a bit of a boring move. But Robertson's looked really good since coming back for Liverpool. He's racking up plenty of points. So he might be somebody that I bring in as well. But captains, Foden or Diaz at the minute.
I reckon you might be on. I'm not going to go away from Haaland. I'm always certain of that. But you might be onto something with Foden because I was looking at. I like to look at what the result was like when two teams faced off last time. A lot of the time, and obviously when City played United at Old Trafford this season, Haaland had 2 goals and an assist, but Foden scored as well. Right, he got on the score sheet, and Foden's been all right in this fixture as well because in the home Premier League game last season, I think it was both Haaland and Foden scored a hat trick.
Oh,
6-3,
lovely.
I think it was. 6-3. I think if I have that right, or a couple games back.
Yeah, I think
Haaland.
you're right.
Yeah, Haaland with the hat trick, and Phil Foden with a hat trick. Haaland
Who did he give
also.
the star man to last year?
I think he went to Haaland because he got a hat trick and 2 assists
Oof.
in the one game. So yeah, I am wondering if this could be like he's been a little bit underwhelming, hasn't he, Haaland?
Yeah.
He's
ready to blow up again, isn't he?
It would tee it up quite nicely if people started to get a little bit frustrated, move away, and then bang. So yeah, I'm still not going to move away from him this week. I think it does look too good. But if I was, Ollie Watkins does probably feel second best for me outside of Man City. But yeah, I don't fancy. You're not going to risk Salah or Nunez, are you, for Liverpool? I don't think Diaz is really a captain pick. And I had wrote Bowen ? And I was going to wait and see how he got on in this game, but I was never thinking that it was going to be a hat trick. Yeah, no, I think this one seems a bit crazy to go away from Haaland, really. James McClure, do you think Foden has finally become the player he was touted to be? And is it still KDB's crown as the main creator at City, or has Foden stepped into his shoes? Tony, you want to captain him, so...
I've always loved Foden. He just loves football, doesn't he? You can tell. He's a top player, technically so good. He's got everything in his locker. Probably England's most talented player, I'd say. I think you can see probably a passing of the baton now. I think when David Silva were retiring from City, I think Foden he weren't really getting the minutes. He was a little bit young then, but I think De Bruyne's coming to the end of his days at City, I think, and you can see Foden's being used more centrally, especially this season while De Bruyne's been out. And I think, this is the time now for him. I think he's grabbed his opportunity. I don't see him being a bit part player anymore. I think he's one of the first names on team sheet, and he's not disappointing, is he?
Yeah, that's exactly what I wrote. First name on team sheet now. It's like, obviously he's not the only one. It is like Haaland, Rodri, and I'd say Foden probably, isn't it now? That you'd have to think if they're playing their most important match, he's going to be one of the guys that's definitely starting. You probably could have said that he was in a category with Bernardo, Grealish, on those ones that could get rotated, but it just seems to play every minute now, doesn't he?
Yeah, there'd be no defending keeping him on the bench unless it's a niggle or an injury or illness, whatever it might be. You can't leave him out that side.
Where'd you start him for England?
Oh.
I was having this debate with my brother earlier today.
He's got to be as a 10. You'd have Saka right, obviously. Kane up top. It's that left wing. Grealish ain't getting many minutes. Rashford is well out of sorts. Did we not discuss who left winger? Who's our left wing options other than Grealish? Sterling, weren't it? Sterling. Southgate loves Sterling. It wouldn't. Hey, we'll get to Euros. It wouldn't surprise me if Southgate starts. Sterling up left. Foden nowhere near.
Henderson
and Calvin Phillips in middle. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'd love to see him behind Kane. Definitely.
Anything to add, Ben, on the old Foden loving?
I think he's got to. I think he might start on the left for England. Just you can't displace Bellingham unless you play with two number 8s.
Yeah.
And then he could play Foden as one of the number 8s with Bellingham and Saka on the right, and then someone on the left, and Kane up front. But I'd like to see Trent play as an inverted right back or left back, just because even if he starts on the left, he's going to come inside anyway. And then obviously Walker play on the other side for his pace. I'd like to see that so when we go in attack, Trippier comes into the middle with Rice, and then you've got you could put Foden and Bellingham as the two number 8s.
Big class. Oh, not long.
Not long to the Euros. Can't wait.
We'll save it for the Euros when we start up those.
Already got me World Cup glass, even though it's the Euros.
Right, David 87. So we're now 10 game weeks away from the end. When is it time to start turning the dial up on the risk if you're chasing in mini leagues? He's not talking silly 1 week punts, but perhaps a block defense or another strategy. Say, for example, if you're 50 or 100 points off the top. Ben, you're the guy who makes the comebacks.
Yeah, just keep getting lots of plays with lots of fixtures, because it just add up. The points will add up. Block defense is a good idea. I'm starting to think about doing that. Differential captains to go against Haaland. Obviously, if you've got boosters, that'll help you bump up the table. And even just differential players, like, for example, there's in the top 1K, there's no Adingra, there's no Kudus, there's no Bowens at the moment. So they could be differential. Bowen's probably going to shoot up, though, I'd imagine, after this match.
I've not checked this, but Nathan's saying that Bowen's now the 5th most transferred player in this week. Surely can't have happened that quickly.
On the app?
I think the app must be real time, mustn't it? When people are sort of playing around with their transfers. It might be worth I'll just say it on the pod now, because it's not that easy to find. But on that very first screen, when you open up the Dream Team app, if you just don't press anything and just scroll all the way down right to the very bottom, that's where it says who the top transfers in are. And yeah, it's Bowen at the minute. Watkins first, Salah second, Douglas Luiz third, Van Dijk, and then Bowen. Doesn't take much, does it?
Yeah, most transferred out: Alvarez, Palmer, Højlund, Nunez, and Trippier.
Any other strategies, Tony, that you're thinking of, or timings, even like a certain game week that you might look to?
Well, obviously, we last couple of weeks we discussed the 12th man and using it on someone who's very differential, but is quite a talisman for their team. We've earmarked the Bournemouth double in
27.
Is it 20 game week 27? That Bournemouth double, against Sheffield United and Luton for SALAH. So you have got 12 man. That's a good shout. You could even go the other way, bring in Morris or Luton as a 12 man. If you fancy them against Palace and Bournemouth, there's a few ways of playing that. When he says silly 1 week punts, I don't think this year you that damaged by not silly 1 week punts, but like Ben said, there's a lot of players out there that are differentials that could boost you up. For example, say Bowen tonight, you wouldn't have him anyway because he weren't a doubler and they've not been in any sort of form. But obviously, with the doubles coming up for West Ham, Bowen, kudos, because he were brilliant before he went to AFCON. So he's someone now that's playing twice a week. He could have a really good do. I think you just got to be brave each game week, and don't be scared of thinking that one player is gonna kill your season, because he won't. But it could gain you 15 to 20 points. That's the way you're going to have to creep back up. I was saying the other week in the Discord about the doubling up at least on Liverpool defenders. Robertson, Van Dijk, pretty nailed. Bradley's been doing really well at right back. Have we got a timeline on Trent yet? Coming back?
I think they were saying after international break now, potentially.
Right, so he's still got a couple of doubles, Bradley, then. He's really good going forward. Obviously, dirt cheap. Just think you're going to be a little bit braver. 10 game weeks away. Yeah, take a few punts. Not silly punts. A few calculated punts. Bring in some doublers, maximise your fixtures. That's the way to catch.
I was thinking maybe I was trying to look at this for me, because I feel like I've been in and around the same sort of position now for probably way over a month. I've fallen a little bit, but then again, and then fall back down. Like, it's never really big either way. And I was looking at maybe like 28, 29, because that's when after we would have had the both legs of Europe. You've then got the FA Cup, and then 29 is the Premier League double game week. So I was wondering, you might be able to get someone a bit different, maybe someone from not the European sides, depending on how the FA Cup draw goes, then into that game week 29 double Prem. That could be maybe a time to move off of someone that's maybe a not a European player that could turn out to be all right. I've not looked at a specific player yet, but that could be a little opportunity, because when it's a European week, most people are going to be going for the same people, aren't they? Or similar.
Yeah. You could even do that. Did you say you could even do that from Gameweek 28?
Yeah, depending on what the draws turn out like.
Yeah.
It's funny how there's no we haven't seen many blocks at all, have we? I don't think anyone's been clear for keeping clean sheets, have they?
No.
Previous seasons, there's always been someone.
Yeah, and then you've ended up obviously with a lot of people just jumping on them. Yeah, double Premier League week, like you say, it does open a bit of opportunity. I think Tottenham players come back into play a little bit there. There could be big differentials at that point, because I don't think there'd be anybody owning Spurs players at this moment in time. They've got Luton and West Ham.
Their game's not going to change, is it? Their game's not going to change.
No,
that Fulham game. So,
Fulham on game week 29 of Sheffield United, Notts Forest. You know, there's plenty of opportunities to pick players who score points. It's one thing about the game this year is that there's a lot of players scoring like decent points. It's not you're not just tied to the same few. Usually the players that were stealing the Starman ratings last year.
Is it time? This is Steve 87. Is it time to dump KDB and pick a player that actually plays? Thoughts on KDB, Ben?
No, like I mentioned before, I just think De Bruyne is going to come into the team now. Big matches, calls for big game Kev. So you got Man United, Copenhagen, big double there. You got Liverpool, then obviously quarterfinal FA Cup or Brighton, or it might be a blank, depending if who goes through. And then the two Arsenal and Aston Villa after that. So I think the whole of March he's going to be very active, De Bruyne. So it's up to you if you want to gamble and take him out, but I wouldn't. He's averaging 5.9 points as well, so he's doing all right.
What concerns me with De Bruyne now is he's not long been back, and they're already had to take him back out the firing line and rest him. And he has said that he's got sort of a few niggles. I know what you're saying. As he just rested him, he wants him for the big games.
Yeah.
And it's either that or he's still carrying stuff, and is he falling to bits now, De Bruyne?
He was in the squad, weren't he, at the weekend though?
Yeah, he was. But then what was it? The only won 1-0, didn't they, against Bournemouth?
Yeah.
You're thinking if you were close, it was the same with the Salah thing. Surely he comes on to put that game to bed.
We see this with Pep every season though. Like he always rests De Bruyne around the Champions League games. He rests them in the Premier League games.
Yeah.
Like play in Sky. When you play Sky, De Bruyne always seems to like miss all the Premier League matches, and then he comes in for the Champions League in the big games. So and with those games, he must have looked at these fixtures, Pep, and thought, "We've got a really hard March coming up. We'll need De Bruyne, so we need to hold him back a little bit."
Yeah,
that's what I think anyway.
I was just looking at that schedule now, and like you said, 27's Liverpool, 28 could be FA Cup. Then there's an international break before the Arsenal clash in 29. How many City players are going to get little injuries that keep them off of international break before playing Arsenal? Yeah. KDB will be injured for that cup match, won't he? And so will Haaland, unless they draw a big boy.
Yeah.
Matt Willie's in the chat. They'll play their best team in the Manchester derby and batter United. I don't think many people will argue that at the moment.
It's a thing, isn't it? Another false dawn for United. Same old. Falling back into the because like in some of the wins where they've had the wins, they've not looked convincing. Who did he go 2-0 up against? Luton, weren't it? 2-0 up, quite early doors. And to be fair, they looked all right, and they're playing a little bit of nice stuff. And you think, have they turned a corner? And then within 20 minutes or so, they reverted back to the same old. And yeah, they've just not been convincing all season, United. City could really do a number on them.
So is that unanimous? We're not moving we're not moving KDB on yet. We'll probably end up keeping him a bit longer.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's one that needs sorting out because I think a hell of a lot of people got him. So,
Brian Driver, evening fellas. With the amount of rotation City players will be getting now, excluding Haaland, Foden, and Ederson, who he thinks are most nailed, could we be moving off the rest of the players, or moving to the other teams that are guaranteed more minutes? So
yes.
for example, like doing an Alvarez maybe to a Watkins or a Bowen, for example, that's going to get 2 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in 27 you've got to look at that, aren't you? City with a single against Liverpool. So obviously the main men will be on the pitch. Alvarez, the defence is a bit of a lottery at the minute. So I don't know what to do there, but I'd be keeping probably KDB, Foden, Haaland. Alvarez, yeah, you've got to probably move him on for that single and bring in the likes of Watkins or even Bowen for the Burnley fixture and the Freiburg fixture.
Yeah, looking at that ownership, obviously Haaland 100, Foden basically 100%, and then KDB 83. Would you say it's probably best to just keep them free, maybe covered, and take your risks in the other spots?
Yeah, definitely.
Surely the better way to go.
Yeah. I the only person that's like annoying me at the moment for Man City is Alvarez. I think there are better options in other teams. He's not nailed. I think the defense might settle down a little bit now. They've got these harder matches. But we'll see that because there's 5 defenders, isn't there, that to fit into 4 slots. So it's going to be interesting. You got Akanji, which is the one I think would normally sit out, but he seems to always get minutes. And you got Stones, Diaz, and then Ake and Walker. Vardy's injured, so they're the main ones that I think will play. So one might miss out a game every so often, but I think they'll be pretty settled over this period.
I think I read today that Vardy's back, which doesn't make things. Right. I think he said in his press conference today, Pep, that Vardy's feeling better. Training without pain, I think he said was his words. So that's another one. Like you say, so him left back, Nathan Ake left back, Akanji sometimes play left back, but yeah, it's tricky.
I still will want to keep a defender as well as Ederson. I think I do think they look solid. I know we have this. I know we have this City defense talk quite a lot, but I do think they've improved. And then also, I don't know what you think, and I've not got any sort of stats to back it up, but I feel like with City, this happens. Like they will concede the odd goal in these games where you think, oh, this is an easy fixture. And then when it comes to playing against like an Arsenal or Liverpool or a United, they can sometimes shut up shop and it's quite a close game. Or the Champions League matches, for example. So, yeah, I feel like it's worked out in my favour to have, what have I got, Ederson and Ake at the minute, and they seem to be doing all right as a pair. But yeah, I reckon I'll keep one more on top of Ederson, I think.
But to counteract it, this is where we're trying to get to, is that so City, we're probably 2 or 3 pods ago, we're talking about how City have 7 fixtures and other teams only have 4 or 5. Look at where the City defenders are. So they've had nearly double the fixtures on some teams, and they're still not climbing higher because they're being rotated that much. It's just they're sharing little bits of points out. Where's Walker? Is he like in the top 20? Does he just make it into the top 20 of defenders?
I tried to compare it because there was that exact point where you said that where there were 7 City games versus I think Arsenal's 5.
Yeah,
I think it was. And I was looking and I went back and tried to compare how many games each got, and I think there was only 2 City players that ended up playing more games than the Arsenal defenders. And I think it was Arsenal. Obviously, Saliba and Gabriel obviously played all 5, and I think Walker might have got 6, and one other got 6. But yeah, there's no guarantee that you're going to come out on top just to have the extra fixtures.
No, not with City defenders.
Mm.
So Gabriel got 34 points from game week 21 to now. And Kyle Walker got 6, 8, 20.
Yeah.
But obviously he had the fixture volume. But as well, it's like I get it. If they came on and got the clean sheets when they were subbed on, yeah. You'd still be all over City's defence, but because that isn't a rule anymore, it's so dangerous going there.
Yeah, from game week 20 to game week 25, Bradley's the highest scoring defender with 57 points. Van Dijk 53, Gabriel 50, Braithwaite 49, Semedo 47. Someone captained Semedo, didn't they, this week? We were talking about that on the stream. But then you got Diaz and Ake. They got 47 and 45. So at least a couple of them have done all right. What bit further down, you got White and Saliba. They got 37. So there's a good 8 points, 10 points there out of the Man City above them. And they scored goals. Saliba scored, didn't he? Scored a goal.
Yeah.
It's so if you put Ake in now, he'd probably get rested next 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ake and Diaz have probably played most of them, and they've got the clean sheets, haven't they? They've started the games. Like Walker, you'd think. Well, we were discussing that Walker was one of the most nailed players, And then
he's 34 points over the last 5 game weeks. So he's below Saliba and White.
I think it's Diaz who's on the longest run of starts out of the defenders now, so he'll be the next one dropped for the next game.
Tony Van Heck's on 35. He's just 1 point ahead of Walker. But Dunk's on 38. He's had 2 attacking returns the last 2 games.
Yeah, he got the winner, didn't he?
Yeah. Kivior, 34 points.
He's been looking really good for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I like the look of him.
Should we go on to Wisby's question?
Yep.
Goalkeepers, Petrovic to Kelleher or Ederson?
I've seen a few people in the Discord giving it the old eyes emoji, like, really? But yeah, when I looked into this, it probably is a good little short-term move. Kelleher should get the next 5 games before the international break if Alisson doesn't come back, because Alisson's supposed to be out till after the international break. But he came back early last time, didn't he, Alisson? Because I brought Kelleher in. You brought Kelleher in, didn't you? I don't know. I think it's a good move. He's only 2 million. He should get the next 5. And I was looking at the Man City fixtures up to the international break, and they've only got 4 fixtures, but one of them's an FA Cup game, so Ederson won't play the FA Cup either. So it's a 5-3. So yeah, I think it's a good move. The only other goalkeeper I think is to be considered is Martinez at Villa. He should get the next 5 games as well. Luton, Ajax away, both of them. Tottenham at home, Ajax at home, West Ham away. It's not easy fixtures, but he's guaranteed keeper. But he is 1.1 more than Kelleher. So he's 3.1 million.
He loves a knockout game, though, doesn't he? Proper cup keeper. Can imagine him in Europa making a big penalty save or something.
Yeah.
They keep conceding that 1 goal, though, don't they, Villa?
Yeah, the defense. They've got a lot of defensive injuries, haven't they, at the moment? That's what's causing them a bit of trouble, I think. Who's it came back? Was it Pau Torres came back from injury? Now he's injured again.
They lost Cons, aren't they?
Yeah. I'd probably still do Ederson, I think. Even though these games look a little bit tougher on paper. I'm not convinced that by Kelleher.
You've had your fingers burnt, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, he did make a lot of saves in that cup game. But
9 saves, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't think it wasn't exactly like the best finishing, was it? That one.
Gallagher should have scored at least 3.
I'm tempted, I'm tempted by Kelleher.
Yeah, I could see it. I think if Nathan wants to change his keeper and go from Petrovic to somebody, and he's happy to be changing his keepers around, then yeah, Kelleher.
When would you do it though?
Just for the fact that.
What's that?
20. When would you do it though? Like you'd probably keep Ederson 26, wouldn't you?
No, he's got Petrovic though.
Oh yeah, no, but you said you were tempted.
Oh yeah, I don't have Ederson though. I have Dubravka.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got Ederson, so obviously, it's not, if you have Ederson, you wouldn't move off Ederson.
No.
But if you're looking for a new goalkeeper, then it's tempting. Just because it's a 5 for 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's 2 transfers because you're going to need another one later on. That's the only problem. Ederson can just stay in there for the rest of the season because they should get pretty far in the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
Watkins or Douglas Luiz? I'm going to straight up just say Watkins.
Yeah, Watkins.
He's the safer option. But go back to David 87's question. If you're chasing a little bit, that's what I'm saying about silly 1 week punts. I don't think Douglas Luiz is a silly 1 week punt. I think he could do really well for you, and he could be a differential then. because you think a lot of people probably are going to go Watkins, go a little bit different. Obviously, it depends how you're playing the game. If you are trying to catch up, then you have to take moves like that. If you're not bothered that you fall further behind, it don't quite work. But if you're trying to protect rank or anything, then you're just going to keep making the safe moves for like Watkins and stuff.
I do think Luiz could be considered with all these games. He is now, isn't he? And he's doing all right. But
yeah,
if you was considering between the two, I'd go Watkins. But there's no reason why you can't go both. The fact that he's on all set pieces is like helping his bonus massively as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Now they've made those changes on the Dream Team sort of app, and you can see why people are getting bonus. So many of them are those successful crosses, and all the set piece takers are tending to do pretty well for bonus at the minute. That's why I chose Robertson and Gross recently.
Yeah.
They seem to constantly get decent bonus, and even Douglas Luiz, he got 3 in the last game, 3 in the game before that. Then it was a 1, then it was another 3.
Yeah,
really smashing the. I mean, if you're getting 3 bonus points a game, that's not bad at all, is it?
Yeah, you're doing all right.
Yeah, I still think it's a decent pick. Do you want to kick off this one, Ben? 3 good midfielders and 3 good defenders for game week 26. He wants double game week players, though.
3 good. Sorry, what was that? 3 good midfielders.
Midfielders and defenders that are double game week players.
Yeah, so obviously I like the Man City fixtures just because it's 2 home fixtures. So I think Foden, obviously, but everyone's got him. I don't mind bringing Saka in this week, just ahead of the double game week next week. With Sheffield United, I could see 4 or 5 goals in that game. And Pascal Gross, he's a points king, isn't he? Like bonus, loves a bonus. Assists, chances created. He's got Fulham and Roma away. Strikers, I think Watkins is at the top of that. His fixtures are decent. Obviously Haaland. And then I'm tempted, even though he's not a striker, but I'm saying Bowen. I can't think of another striker really, unless you want to jump on Solanke early, and he's got Burnley away this week, ahead of Sheffield United and Luton at home next week. Could be a good differential.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that double.
Midfielders: Bowen, Gross, Douglas Luiz. Defenders, I just all out Liverpool: Bradley, Van Dijk, Robertson. I just think they're great options at the minute. Nothing else really stands out. I think they're pretty much nailed. So 2 big games coming up. If there's one thing that will stay the same for Liverpool, it's the defence.
I said 3 strikers.
I know. I just let you run with it.
Well, yeah, defenders Liverpool, like you just said, Liverpool defenders. I'm going down that route. I've brought in Van Dijk and Robertson last week, and I'm really tempted by Bradley to bring in next week or the week after.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are we going to see our first full block?
Possibly.
Is Ben going to pioneer it?
Kelleher as well in goal.
bring on the full block. That's how you rejuvenate yourself.
It was Newcastle. I had Newcastle block and the United block last year that got me up the table. So
it works both ways.
Either way. Yeah, it works both ways. Yeah.
The Newcastle one was really, really good. I think I can't remember when I first started listening to you guys. There was one block that everyone was doing one season. It might have been about 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago.
It was a Chelsea one a few years ago that did really well.
Yeah, so I did one that went really well, and then the next one that sort of caught on was the Chelsea one, and that one just went to absolute crap, didn't it?
I think it was West Brom. West Brom hammered them like 5-1 or something.
Yeah.
At Stamford Bridge. It was crazy.
It can really go either way. But I suppose at least now, though, you could still get the 2 points for the appearance, and it's not going to be a complete wipeout, is it?
No,
If it doesn't get the clean
now,
sheet. Yeah. I didn't really have many to add to that list because I had Gross Bowen, who you'd both mentioned, and Luis Diaz as well. But I mean, he was already about 50%, wasn't he, in the top 1K? Robertson, Van Dijk were my two defenders. The only one that I feel like it might not be yet, but John Stones is getting like back to full fitness, and I know we're not all liking the City ones, but the way that they sort of deploy him doing that midfield job,
yeah,
I feel like there's a few like specialists in that team that sometimes might end up staying. He wasn't fully fit at first, and they've had a Kanji doing the same job. I think once Stones is fully fit, we might see him doing pretty well for bonus and stuff.
Yeah, he was looking good in that position, weren't he, before his injury?
So, not one to go yet, but I kind of want to keep an eye and see if he keeps doing that because we know he can pop up with a goal and stuff as well, can't he?
Yeah.
Stones. Right, what we got next? Before we go to the team updates, we had a couple questions come in, and I accidentally left someone's off of the screen, so I'm just going to go back. It was Solo Higgins. So sorry, mate, I left your question off the screen. What's been the biggest turning points of the Sun Dream Team season so far? I didn't know whether to take this as for everyone or just for your team. I feel like it's got to be kind of specific to us, I think. Have you got anything that comes to mind? There's been, I guess it could be a good turning point or a bad turning point.
I didn't see this question.
Oh yeah, I left it off. Sorry, I'll sort of kick. I can sort of kick it off, but
yeah, go on. You kick it off.
I don't know the exact game week that it happened, but I think it was that sort of gap where I remember when I was away on holiday fairly recently, and it was when Haaland was still out, I think, and that's when there was a lot of differential captain picks happening. That was when you were fully on Cunha.
Yeah.
I just seemed to, around that sort of period for me, I kept getting the captain pick wrong. I think I went for Jota one week in a double game week and it just didn't happen. So I went for someone else. Jota then smashed it the next week. And then I think I did the exact same with Foden again. I went for Foden. He blanked. I took it off Foden. And then I think that's when he got his hat trick. So a couple dodgy captain picks in a row. I haven't been good at picking captains at all, but for that sort of 3-4 week period, and I also that's when I missed the Ollie Watkins one as well. So yeah, I think for me, turning point was some bad captain picks when Haaland wasn't available. I think for me,
not going a little bit different.
Or when it comes to coming different, not very good at it.
I've done all right with the differentials this year. Kudos and Cunha being two of the standouts. Brought them in at the right time, captained them at the right time. One that didn't go quite so well was the Jimenez one. He spent about 15 minutes on pitch and got a red card for me. That was the amount of Fulham's double. There's not been, because I've not really had a stinker, but I think I got up to like something like 80th highest position. But then I've not really had a stinker to drop down to. I think I'm like 200th now. I'm literally just floating around. So there's not been a massive turning point or anything that I don't believe I've done anything wrong as such so far this season. I don't think anything's gone amazingly well. Cunha, obviously, he's done really well for me. And as a differential at the right times, he has probably managed to either hold my position or just bump me up a little bit more. But yeah, not so much a big turning point. What about you, Ben?
Well, I've had quite a poor season, lots of injuries. But yeah, stand up. I've had like Olise captain. That was quite good for me. He was quite a big differential. Watkins captain recently. That was quite good. Yeah, when Haaland was injured, I seemed to be nailing the captains. I was doing all right. I was creeping up the leaderboard. But since he's come back, I've been a bit stagnant. So I might need to start thinking about going a bit differential with my captains as well. And also, like, turning points for my season to keep my season bad is, stagnant like it is now. Probably not having Saka in my team. Like, took him out, trying to jump on the 6 for 3, I think it was, but it just didn't work in the end. Palmer was good for me. I think he had 2 weeks in a row where I captained him and he smashed it. But yeah.
His next part of his question was Salah or no Salah, basically for this week. Obviously, you've already got him now, Ben. I guess you'll be sticking with him.
I just got to wait and see, haven't we? See what happens this week. If he plays, and then we'll see by Friday, Saturday if we hear any news if he's going to be back or not. If he's not going to be back, then he's got to come out again, and if he's not going to be playing.
Yeah.
But we don't know what Klopp's going to say. They never really give any information out, do they? That's concrete.
Yeah, that's what recently when with all these conferences, I've found the same. And now I feel like now if there's any doubt, I just have been avoiding it now recently. Just there's nothing more annoying than having a player that doesn't play, I think. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, same as you. I won't be going there unless maybe he's on the bench again for this FA Cup game or get some sort of sign that he's actually available.
Yeah.
You the same, Tony?
Yeah, I think if he comes off and gets 20 minutes in this cup game midweek, I think that changes things. I think you've got to then look to see that that's just a little run out and he probably starts the game at the weekend. Without that, I can't justify bringing out a double game week player who I know is going to be playing and putting Salah in who I would not know is playing. I think it'd just be a little bit of suicide.
The next part of the question was who do we think the most transferred player in will be this week? But we read out the top 5 so far. But yeah, I think it'll probably stay at Watkins. I think for those decent fixtures next week. I think unless everyone starts to go for Bowen now.
Yeah, there might be an influx of Bowen, but I think Watkins will probably hold on to that.
Yeah, agree. Watkins.
We've got time to chuck these ones in from James McClure that just came in half hour before we went on. I'll read them out because they're not on there. So this is when it came through. Bowen has 2 goals so far. So he has 3 now. Does this make him a strong option for the upcoming double game weeks? West Ham players have been off the boil of late. I think a lot of people were considering getting back on West Ham once Paqueta. Everyone was waiting for when Paqueta came back because he just seemed like he was the glue with those strikers. Bowen and Kudus. It just goes. Maybe it's a coincidence, but I don't think so. He's come back today. Now Bowen's banged in a hat trick. Kudus is back getting an assist, bonus points. Yeah, I think they're back. Would you say?
Yeah, good options. I like Kudus. Looking at my team there, Palmer to Kudus. Could be Trippier to Bradley, or Trippier to Robertson. Take my singles out for next week and put doubles in. Yeah, I like Kudus. I like Bowen. Yeah, good options.
Can you see yourself bringing one of them in this week, or do you reckon you'll wait and just make sure it's
possibly
not a one-off?
Possibly. Like I say, Kudus did me good before. Even when he doesn't really get assists or score, he still bags points and bonus points. So, yeah, very good option.
What do you reckon, Ben?
Yeah, he's really tempting, but I'm not sure because I did want to get 2 double game week players in for Dubravka and Trippier, but I don't know now because of Alvarez as well. Alvarez's minutes, so I could possibly move him on to Watkins or Bowen, but I'm not sure.
Let's go straight onto our team updates because the next sort of 2 questions that he had, we'd kind of covered. It was about Salah, whether or not we'd bring him in or not. So, do you want to start us off, Ben, with your team? How you got on this week?
Yeah, 62 points this week. Dubravka, illness, missed the game. Trippier got a blank. Well, he got 0 points. Robertson, 11. Van Dijk, 15. Gross come in for 7. Rodri, 4. Foden, 12. De Bruyne didn't play. Alvarez, 1 off the bench. Haaland, 12. And Salah, blank, did not play. I brought Salah and Gross this week, like I said earlier on in the pod. Yeah, not good. I don't think it's a great score, 62. How did you get on, Tony?
78.
I've covered your points over there, I think.
It's all right, mate. I've got up here as well.
I had to put the black bar there because the adverts they put on there.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
YouTube penalise you for those.
Yeah, they don't like them. 78 for the week so far. Van Heck and Gross my transfers in, double Brighton. Gabriel out and Jota were injured, obviously out. Went for the Brighton lads. No big surprises. Like I say, Alvarez is a little bit frustrating at the minute. Nice 15 points for Van Dijk.
I bet you was pleased that Gabriel header ended up being an own goal in the end.
I watching it. I said, I'm sure that's an own goal. I'm sure it is.
He's an absolute monster in the air. I can't believe I'm looking at this. How many points did you say you got?
78.
78. So I was just looking. My team is actually almost identical to yours, or very close.
It's not far off, is it?
Both got Edison. I've got Stupinian, where you've got Trippier. He's got to go now. That's it. I'm going to say it now. This has got to be his send-off, this Wolves game. There was some sort of like news that it looked like he was actually going to start, didn't it? He'd gone for pasta at his house. Then I got done by on the live stream. There was some fake news that he was definitely starting. So I was like, that's it. I'm going to give him one last send-off. Of course, then as soon as I got off the stream and looked, he was benched. Well, yeah, absolute nightmare. Maybe he gets that Wolves game, but I'm not holding out any hope. Ake with the 8 points. I got Robertson instead of Van Dijk, so he got me the 11. Pleased with him again, really. Midfield exactly the same as yours. So Palmer, Saka, Foden, De Bruyne, and Pascal Gross. Haaland captain, and then Alvarez, who we've all got. But I just brought Alvarez in. Kind of wishing I did Watkins. I'd like to get Watkins in, I reckon, for next week. But then if Salah becomes fit, that's going to give me a headache again. I'm thinking it'll probably be Watkins next week. And I got a feeling that I might dodge Salah for next week and sort of Stupinian out. Do you reckon he plays Europa? Say he's fit to go and plays. Salah plays in what's the first one? Forest. Think he plays away in the Europa League?
Got the FA Cups first, haven't we? We might see to get some more. Might play some more minutes in the FA Cup first, so before we get the next deadline.
Yeah. Well, if he's fully, say he's on the bench and he plays, or he comes on and plays, do you think he'll be playing in Europa League as well?
I think he will come in eventually, but it's how long you want to wait for him to come in.
Yeah.
I think he's too good to just be sat on the bench. The fixtures are decent for Brighton, though.
Yeah, we're waiting. A lot of it's waiting for these press conferences again that are going to be filled with lies, probably. On to the league tables then. So we'll whiz through the top three on all of these. So Tonic Cash League. In third place, we've got L Giles. In second, G Payne. And in first, S Powell. He's on some sort of run here. No one can knock him off at the minute. Smashing it.
Flying.
Tony, do you want to go?
Yep, second Chance League. In third, Nathan Wisby. Second, Tom Gledhill. And top of the shop, Baz McCormack.
Talking of being on the run, he's doing well as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Boosters left as well. Ben, want to do the tag team?
Tag Team League, Sean Powell and Q John. Second, Louis Wright and Matthew Kent. And first, Barry McCormack and Ben Coles.
Well done, lads. Tonic Patreon Cash League. In third, we've got Connor Tobin. In second, Lee Giles. And in first, Ben Coles. All the divisions. Go from League One first then. Let's go.
In League One, third, Mark Warner. Second, Lee Giles. And top of League One is G Payne.
Championship, Dan Sherwood third. Our very own Anthony Sutcliffe second. And Aaron Wade top.
Promotion is in the offing.
Then the Premier. In third, it's myself. Out in the back. In second, Baz McCormack. And in first, Ben Coles.
The tag team at the top.
Yeah. Smashing it, them two. Causing us problems. Well. That's it. That's all the leagues. And obviously, do you want to talk us through quickly, Tony, the Patreon Cup?
Yeah, so the Patreon Cup will be open to all patrons, new, old. So if anyone's listening to this, you want a patron, get yourself across to patreon.com/dreamteamtonic. Get yourself signed up, get exclusive access to our Discord, be able to join us live for these YouTube podcasts. And you'll get a free entry to the Patreon Cup. This season, it's going to be a knockout. Last year's winner is Aman Tatler, who will be defending his crown. Depending on, obviously, how many people submit the teams, that will depend on whether it's around the 64 or whatever it might be to begin with. But I'll get all that mocked up. We will be doing a draw live on the pod next week. So we've got until next week. We'll be podding on the Sunday, won't we? So so probably Sunday dinner time. Probably have the cut-off point. So yeah, get yourself signed up and get yourselves entered. It's a good laugh.
What's the prize for the winner this year?
It'll be a cash prize and a trophy. Cash prize to be confirmed. Because we've not confirmed it yet, and I don't want to say what cash prize we're giving away without discussing it with you lads. So, so that'll be confirmed. There'll be a nice big advert going out up onto Twitter and across the socials on, I think tomorrow. I'll sort it out. So,
good stuff.
And last things before we go. Again, do leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Patreon link in the description below, and then of course, if you are interested in coming into our Dream Team Tonic meetup, Patreon or non-Patreon, all welcome. Do get in touch with us on Twitter and we can give you the details of that. And then, Tony, you got some Mother's Day gifts over on Footy Fits, am I reading?
Oh yeah, I got some cracking Mother's Day gifts. Get yourself over to footyfits.co.uk, personalise some stuff, some football inspired stuff, some mother inspired stuff. Plenty on there for everybody.
Get your mum a tonic mug.
Yeah.
Are our faces on it?
They can be if they want. Personalisation's available. Send us your picture. You want to screenshot us, lads, and send it over to me.
Us mugs. On that note.
Mugs on mugs.
Mugs on mugs.
We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.
Cheers, everyone.